Welcome back, Dota 2 fans. The decider, Game 3, Na'Vi versus Vega Squadron. Winner moves on to the semifinals. This is the quarters, and they will face Virtus Pro, so no easy task ahead of either of these teams, but both of them showing some resilience. Na'Vi has played a lot of games today already, starting this morning. And they did win game 1, but in a 50-minute, a little bit of, thriller early on, but a little bit of a sleeper near the end, Vega was able to essentially just outlast Na'Vi. Bronze, game 3 here. Expecting any kind of change of pace out of this team. Already we see one hero that we haven't seen all series in that Necro.
Yeah, Na'Vi looks like they've already switched it up. They go for the Disruptor Faceless Void first phase, which provides them with a ton of teamfight potential. But Vega, they pick up the Nyx Assassin, which worked out really well for them last game. I mean, their Nyx Assassin was able to pick up so many kills for them in the mid game, which I'm pretty sure those kills were critical to their success in the game. They also pick up a Necrophos. This hero, pretty much always strong and exceptionally strong against the Void, because the Void has to buy a Diffusal to deal with the Necrophos. But also, the Faceless Void suffers when you're actually able to burst him down in a hurry before he gets his Time Walk off, before he gets his Chronosphere off, and Necrophos' Reaper Scythe is like the spell for pick off. So we'll see if Vega Squadron can make it work this game.
Enchantress ban coming out from the Vega side, so they want to slow things down a little bit in the early game, allow the Nyx to get the levels, allow this Necro to do his thing, and often, Necro does afford you the luxury of having these sort of more greedier cores in the other lanes, or supports that want to roam or farm the jungle, because he is such a self-sufficient laner, and they'll ensure that the Necro has a good time this game by removing that Ancient Apparition. Na'Vi, again, like they did in game 1, when they went very team fight oriented, gonna ban out the menacing Broodmother.
Yep, and they also ban out the Drow Ranger, and I guess Na'Vi just doesn't want to play against these two heroes, or maybe they respect Vega's ability to use these two heroes. I mean, Drow would be quite good against their lineup, because so far these two heroes don't really close the gap on Drow. I mean, Drow's weak when you catch her with the glimpse into a weird position, but she's not obligated to do that. So Na'Vi, they pick up a Wisp or Io, and we've seen Na'Vi pick up this hero a couple times in the past few days in series. Really, I feel like Na'Vi has evolved. I mean, with Roger playing this hero, they've looked really strong.
Yeah.
I think they combine it a lot with Tiny, and it seems to really work out for them. I mean, Na'Vi seems to have transitioned into this team that likes to go for split push, that likes to split up the enemy team and look for pickoffs, and it's sort of faster pace. Unfortunately, last game it wasn't really fast paced because they didn't have that hero to look for pickoffs, so it just seemed like they were stuck farming forever, and as a result they lost the game, or eventually lost the game. But Na'Vi, they pick up Tiny, so now they certainly do have that team fight potential from their first 2 picks, and then now they have the damage potential from the Tiny.
Yeah, they were lacking the setup hero in their last draft. I mean, similar to the first draft, they had kind of cross-map mobility, but just didn't have that, Beastmaster or Earthshaker or Nyx Assassin. Here it'll be the Void, more than likely, that'll do the setup for them. Disruptor, decent at catching out heroes that are trying to retreat as well. But Vega have a counter in this game that they did not in the very first, and that will be the Global Silence. Of course, a little more uptime on the Relocate than the Global, but at least pretty much overlapping cooldowns when you look at Chronosphere versus Global Silence.
Yeah, so one of the most important things you have to look out for when you play against an IO lineup is, are you afraid of Relocate ganks? Because if you are, then you're not able to push out the lanes, you're not able to split up and do anything, and so you're really playing the opponent's game. But when you have Global Silence, now you have to look out for it, because if they're not careful with how they set up their kills, the IO and the Tiny, or the IO and whoever Relocate, get hit by the Global Silence, and then suddenly they're the ones getting ganked, right? And so I like the Silencer pickup for Vega, especially since one of their cores right now, the Necrophos, is actually quite scared of Relocate ganks. Like, one way you can play against IO is to pick heroes like Puck, Weaver, just for an example. Those heroes have high mobility, so then if you get relocated on, you run away in a hurry, and you're perfectly fine, right? But Necrophos can't do that at all. So in order for Necrophos to get farmed this game, he has to either jungle or have a spell like Global Silence to help him in a scenario where they go on them. And Vega Squadron, they pick Earthshaker.
Not all that often that you see this Earthshaker slip this far into the pool, but Navi kind of going for their comfort zone picks here are going to allow this ES to slip through. Would have been a great setup hero, but similarly for the Vega side is a great counter to any heroes in close proximity, and often with the IO you will have that sort of format for Navi's side. So ES can definitely get off to a good start. We talked about Necrophos affording the luxury of having a little bit greedier lineup across the board elsewhere as far as the lanes go. Silencer, very good support in the early game, but does really need his levels to scale. And hopefully this will allow them to do that. They can, drag the wave back early on with that Earthshaker fissure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's two things that will really define the Earthshaker's role this game. First of all, he can counter initiate on the relocate gank. The Wisp and Summon relocate in, instantly get fissured or echo slammed, gank's over, right? But the other thing is that he provides he provides some really easy initiation for Vega. And what I mean by that is the Nyx like blink stun doesn't really work on the Void, whereas you can always blink echo slam the Void, and even if the Void has a Linken's or BKB or Mantle, you can't react to it, and then you instantly follow that up with a Reaper Scythe, with any additional stuns with a Legion Commander duel, and you have a really potent pick-off kind of lineup. And then when you have more pick-off potential than the enemy IO lineup, it means the IO lineup has to respect they have to respect your ability to pick them up, so they can't really split push as hard as they would like to. And so in order for the IO lineup to operate, they have to be aware of your positioning on the map.
Even before this blink comes out for the Earthshaker, you got the Nyx to be doing scouting, maybe Fissure from range, and then into the Impale could definitely work out for them as well, with two potential blink carriers that have either a long duration disable in the duel or that Reaper Scythe to try and bring one of these cores from 50 to 0. So just definitely a lot of avenues for Vega to enter the fight, bringing one core down early. There is, of course, the relocate save potential as the support duo lacking an off lane at this
point. And the Legion Commander as an offlaner works really well for Vega because assuming this is a Faceless Void carry and a Disruptor support, those two heroes don't exactly kill the Legion Commander. Mm-hmm. They can zone her out, they can hurt her, but they'll never actually kill her. And so she'll probably get to like a decent start in the early game unless something happens. And so they can pretty much count on the Legion getting something out of the early game.
Just versus any sort of two-person lane, just tends to fare well.
Yeah, two-person lane that doesn't have a stun and doesn't really have a way to lock her down. So pretty cool pickup from Vega there.
We think they will decide on the TA, so that is going to mean more than likely it'll be General and Roger taking to the off lane as a dual lane with the IO Tiny. That'll be Dendy on his signature TA. Gives him a little bit more scaling. It's not the perfect combination with the Faceless Void, as you can get a little awkward, before maybe you have like a Hurricane Pike on Dendy, but we'll see how it ends up panning out. Does definitely give them some burst potential. There is a bit of a lack of tick damage as well, so Refraction very good in this game for Dendy.
Yeah, certainly Refraction will be good this game, but I think more importantly, she does well. I believe she'll do well in the mid lane against a potential Earthshaker mid. Actually, G plays mid, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So she'll do well against the Earthshaker, and she also provides a ton of split push potential for Navi, because TA is a hero that split pushes quite well. I mean, she moves around the map quickly and she clears waves extremely quickly. So I think they have that going for Navi, which should help them set up kills in the mid game.
Yeah, with the IO in the off lane, he should be able to pretty freely and consistently stack for the TA as well.
So the question becomes whether or not this IO and Tiny get off to a good start, because if they do, they can start looking for pickoffs incredibly well, because Vega, they can't really react until they start getting their ultimates on their heroes, because they do have a little bit of lockdown, but Navi can play around the positioning of the Nyx and the Earthshaker if there's not enough mobility coming out from Vega early on.
Pretty big stakes here, folks, as Navi and Vega battle it out for a spot in the semi-finals of these ESL One Hamburg qualifiers.
Is this an elimination match?
It is.
Oh,
Loser goes home, winner faces Virtus Pro. So neither of those outcomes sound particularly appealing, but definitely moving on better than going home.
bit of an interesting decision. I just got confused for a second because I thought it was going to be a mid silencer, but mid Earthshaker makes sense to me. It's probably important to Vega that they get farm on the Earthshaker, so not a bad decision to put that hero mid.
Do they park the silencer there early on, do you feel? Or at least the Nyx? It feels like the matchup's pretty heavily in Dendy's favor. If it's a true 1v1.
I think Earthshaker, I think in a 1v1, Earthshaker should be able to get a lot of CS. He might take a lot of damage to Sideblades, but if he manages his health correctly, Dendy can't really knock him out of the lane. But having a silencer in that lane should be very helpful, just because TA is quite short range, so whenever Dendy goes up for last hit, he'll be eating a couple of auto attacks. Especially since Roger has the potential to help out Dendy mid with this bottle first pickup. And Roger looks like he's actually positioning himself to snipe the courier. We'll see if he gets that.
Squatting up in the tree, Slayer nearby is actually not gonna run into him. Courier, Roger looking to make the move. Doesn't show just yet. Dire side has not seen the Wisp. They will see the courier in lane now. And it looks like early on he should be successful.
Ooh.
1 and 2. Boop. And there goes the courier. That is going to help out Dendy's lane quite a bit. Slayer here early on. Dendy does get his refraction burn. He's opted for that first, kind of anticipating the silencer's appearance. And it has prompted the Q being skilled by Slayer as opposed to the side lane W that we're so accustomed to.
Arcane Curse is a pretty insane spell if you look at the numbers, and General has pulled the creep wave top, so he'll be able to get this EXP in the off lane.
Now that's incredible for General. I didn't even notice that happened, considering Roger was not even with him at game start. So definitely looking good in the early going here for Navi. Player though making Dendy's life miserable in this mid lane. But elsewhere, Afterlife having a bit of a struggle. You mentioned, not exactly kill potential here just yet, but they will be able to zone the Legion for the time being while she doesn't have a press the attack or the overwhelming odds. And Roger will join up with his comrade in the mid lane. So for now, it will be General out on an island, but as you mentioned, he did pick up the level 2 by being able to drag that wave behind his tower.
Slayer's taking quite a bit of damage here, and I imagine Dendy and Roger might actually try to go for a kill on him if they can keep their health up after this Arcane Curse. So
G trading very well right now, as you touched upon. The CS is 12 and 3 for.
Yeah, Earthshaker's quite a good mid laner because you can use Aftershock. It does 75 damage, so it is quite a good last hitting ability, similar to how Storm can use his passive as well.
Player in a little bit of trouble. They do get the haste rune. Kinetic field will latch onto the silencer. They'll get the tether slow there as well, and around him like bullies on the playground. Overwhelming odds will come through. Afterlife does not have a press the attack. G does just skill up the Fisher now. Kinetic field will fly out. G should be able to finish off Seneko here. No raindrop on the disruptor. They're actually going to TP in Slayer as well, and this is, if nothing else, space created by Seneko. He's going to go for the neutral deny attempt, and it will be successful. Little space
And a free trip to the fountain. And I didn't notice this, but there's actually quite a few stacks in the ancient camp for Navi already.
Wisp parked around mid lane. Roger been very good at this, throughout Navi's run thus far in these qualifiers and in general, especially on the Wisp.
We got the double stack as well.
Even the last game on the Tiny was able to prepare quite a few stacks for Dendi. They do get the side pull top lane, however, and now General, despite having a good early start, has been pushed back out of this lane. But he's keeping pretty much at parity with his laning equivalent here in the Legion Commander, so doing very admirably considering the matchup.
Indeed.
It is just a melee support, I suppose, that he has to think about. So
as long as he's not eating nukes from the Necrophos, he can keep his health up in this lane. And, they're actually rotating the Disruptor here. They might go for a kill.
Curse is going to land onto 2. Top lane. They bring in the Disruptor. As you mentioned, Kinetic Field is going to be there. He gets the Death Pulse off, but it's almost after, I want to say, the Ghost Shroud. They don't have enough with the right clicks to kill off Zaneko. He'll make it back to base. G throws out the Fisher, but it bumps Dendi down to the low ground. He does get an Arcane Rune, though. And therefore, Dendi will be forced to back out. Afterlife soaking in the trees, bottom lane. Crystallize will find him.
Yeah, the lanes are going pretty even for both teams right now. I think the net worth advantage is just from the mostly from the courier kills. So we'll have to see when Vega make their first move. There's quite a few ways they can go for pickoffs. The problem is that their 2 stuns and the Nyx and the Earthshaker are sort of locked up in their lanes right now. The Nyx is going to be a little bit underleveled from being a support, and the Earthshaker probably wants to get a little bit of farm in the mid lane. So I don't imagine any moves will be made by Vega, at least in the next 2 minutes. So
Then he farms up a stack, hits his level 5, and yeah, G free time in the mid lane here is going to eclipse that mark shortly. But nice little influx of golden XP for the Templar Assassin.
General's actually setting up in the top river, but there is this ward that will spot him out, so we'll see if there's a successful gank attempt here. I think it sees him.
Nighttime though, Avalanche does connect. Can they get the toss off? It doesn't seem like that's the case, and now General on the wayward side of the Fisher is forced to back out. Still though, fighting strong with the Wisp nearby is Dendi. A couple of spirits connect onto G. He needs a side blade bounce here, but will not get it. And G able to retreat to safety, but it gives Dendi a bit of time in the lane. General spends some time out of his, and now rotation down bottom where Afterlife could be the target for Zaneko and Crystallize. Crystallize does not have his Chronosphere ready just yet. Goes for the more damage-oriented build with the 3 points in Bash. Looking to trade kind of 1v1 against this Legion.
Bash.
Only gets one of them, 4 hits.
Dendi goes down mid.
Got the body falling there. But it looks like the Silencer rotation in. Yeah, just the last word, a couple of enchant totems, the Fisher. Big kill for the Vega mid lane to find.
A gift from the tempest of battle.
Tiny off lane is a little bit weird because he doesn't have enough armor to stay in this lane, but he'll certainly get a lot of EXP in order for General to come back in this game. He has to look for a lot of kills. And
yeah. Avalanche not going to be enough to save him there as the Reaper Scythe finishes him off. And the Aloha Dance can do some regen. They have a siege creep here. May even want to consider tanking the wave, and that's exactly what CIS will do. Will do. And they're going to get a significant amount of damage done on this tier 1.
G's in a pretty good spot, and it's actually a little bit tough for Crystallize to make moves on this Void, just because there's not a lot of damage that his team can contribute. At least not in the early game. There's no like AA or Skywrath or Witch Doctor or anything of that sort. So if Void makes a move this game, it's going to certainly be a counter initiation somewhere in another lane. At least with that Chrono in. Roger in a bit of trouble here.
He is going to fall just in the mid lane. First doing work once again. Bionic Trap's going to be there, but no real follow-up for Dendi. They have a level 1 glimpse here if someone oversteps their bounds.
Earthshaker first.
It feels like in order for Na'Vi to make an EC kill, they have to hit level 6 on this Disruptor. Otherwise, they have almost no damage to combo with, and they also don't have a way of really stopping the Necrophos and Legion Commander from casting their heals. if the Legion Commander decides to skill up press the attack, but that'll be later.
Yeah, definitely both her and Crystallize on the Void going for the 1v1 melee matchup skill build. Roger's got an Arcane Rune, going to find a little bit of space in the mid lane, but only just near level 4 here, 8 minutes into the game. About on par with the rest of the supports, but the Dire supports...
Necrophos is just doing Necrophos things at the moment. You know, take the enemy tier 1 in your lane, and then move to another lane and start pressuring that lane as well. And so I think their goal here is just to get some kills.
The Impale, as he walks up the stairs, going to find Seneko, and the Reaper Scythe is there.
I'm dead.
You wither on the vine.
Just a free little bit of regen for Aloha Dance on his Necrophos, and he'll deal with this wave pretty much by his lonesome, as the rest of Vega will disperse and look to farm. Duel is ready for Afterlife if he so pleases to skill it up. 1200 gold. Looks like he's going to rush the Blink on his side. Even though, you know, just to look perhaps to follow up G, who's opted to stop off for the bottle on top of the treads here in the mid lane.
So Na'Vi are stuck in a little bit of a weird phase in their draft right now, and that TA doesn't exactly want to get involved at the moment until she has at least the Desolator, and so his team's just stuck getting as much farm as they can, not really making any moves, which puts Vega in sort of a position to place a lot of pressure on the Na'Vi team, especially with this Tiny just last sitting top, working on that Blink. Void also isn't sort of a hero that does anything on his own.
Na'Vi vision is a little bit lacking in this area. Playing pretty blind under their tier 1 and in general across the map. They only this one ward in the middle lane that's going to scout out Slayer. And it will perhaps catch the Nyx. He's going to make his way back down to the south. And as you mentioned earlier, Aloha Dance just parked in this bottom lane. Going to keep the wave shoved. Afterlife gets some space top lane. Level 7 now on the Legion Commander. And similarly, General finds a little bit of space. So seems like both teams kind of waiting for these item timings here. The Legion looking for a Blink sitting on 1400 gold. Tiny looking for a Blink sitting on 1300. Crystallize does pick up that Mask of Madness, so maybe has some solo kill potential on some of these squishier targets like the Nyx and Silencer. Still, though, going to be hard pressed to find any core kills without some considerable support from his squad. Dendi, though, going to get active with an Invis rune top lane. Looking to try and take out Afterlife. Needs General, though, to walk into the jungle. And being that he's on top of a wave, that'll be a little bit hard. Dendi, though, look to find Afterlife. Gets the Psionic Trap off. Needs a couple more right clicks. Afterlife looking to fog him. But he will be able to kill off the Legion. And looks for the TP out. The Fisher, though, from G is there. Do they have anyone nearby? No, there's a TP in to the tier 1. Reaper Scythe on Dendi. And not worth his maneuver there, as it'll set him back on his Desolator timing for the one kill he was able to net. Metrics even favoring Vega's side. A lot more experience, as 3 heroes are going to share it, and a little bit more gold going their way as well.
This Necrophos is becoming more of a nuisance. They really can't kill him until they have Diffusal. They have a lot of magic damage in the Tiny, but it's probably not enough, especially since this Necrophos is building a hood. So it's going to be a long time before this Necrophos can be dealt with. And I think this Necrophos is probably aware of that. He's just been parking himself in some pretty dangerous locations, getting farm where his team wouldn't normally want to farm. So his Legion Commander and his Earthshaker have plenty of space, and those 2 heroes are close to their Blink. So I imagine Vega will start making some pretty big moves with those Blinks.
100 gold away for the Earthshaker, and not all that far off for Afterlife, even despite that recent death. So Zayat makes a move up the hill and towards the Radiant Shrine. They'll get a sentry down to ensure their movement is undetected. Looking for a pick, and they may find a big one in the middle lane. Dire sentry down is going to ensure that feels safe to initiate here. But he's a little bit far out.
For now, it's just a scout. Yeah. We've got some EXP here. But it's kind of weird for his team to make a movement there, especially up a hill. Oh,
it's rooted up,
might get
though.
A kill here, actually. He has to wait for the creeps to start hitting him again without refraction.
Refraction now available.
Vendetta down, however, so probably no kill here. There is a smoke coming into the bottom lane. There is a blink on the
Desolator on the way as well. Well, bottom lane. Crystallized jumps forward, but he gets echoed up, and now the last word is there as well. Fisher will kill off. No, he gets the walk away. It will silence him up. Gets the Mask of Madness move. Speaking to try and juke away, they use the global a little bit afterwards, and that's perhaps for the top lane engagement. Crystallized still alive. Now with the fresh Blink Dagger, General comes through and finds a kill. That's going to be on the silencer. Looks like they pick off Dendi across the map, but Crystallized survives, and General with the reveal of his Blink, he's going to find a kill. However, under the sentry is going to be able to throw up the Nyx in the air, and now coming through is the Necrophos to bring down the Wisp who TP's in. Bit of a messy fight all in all. Vega are the beneficiaries ultimately across the map. They take a 3-for-1. But they do save the Void. However, he does expend Chronosphere. That'll be down the next couple minutes.
Yeah, a little bit of a strange engagement. Feels like Slayer was just holding onto that global silence, maybe expecting the Legion Commander to be closer for that duel, but unfortunately the Void slips away. They do get 3 kills, so I think Vega are quite happy with that. That is the Blink reveal on General, and with this Blink, Tiny can actually start making moves. The problem is it's more difficult for him to make moves than it is for Vega to make moves, just because Vega have so much more lockdown. Their cores are quite tanky, and
speaking of which, though, he goes in mid lane. They need one more right click onto Slayer, and they can't get there in time. General does back out to safety, but the Disruptor not so lucky, as G will counter initiate on him. General was looking for another Blink toss opening, back to one of his allies, but could not find it. It'll just end up being a 1-for-0 in the mid lane. Meanwhile, Dending farming Ancients and a Dire Sentry with Zayats scouting him nearby. G is also around the tree line, but Refraction's up for Dendi. It's soon to expire. Zayats goes in, doesn't hit the Impale. The G is there, though, and all his damage soaked up by Refraction. They'll even, for safe measure, relocate out Dendi. General in the mid lane now.
I think Roger will probably go down here.
Could be some free duel damage for Afterlife. He'll get the tether back, however. Will have to walk up the hill? Huh? Did you know that? People cliff walk during duel?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no, you get free pathing during duel.
I was not
or
aware
both
of
parties,
that.
I believe.
That was different for me.
So mid lane,
Again, Slayer, the magic stick keeps him up, but this time General has the right click. Reaper Scythe comes out a little bit early, but they will get the kill regardless. Overwhelming odds coming through, and G, the one to pick up the last hit with the Aftershock charge. Or proc.
She's setting up for a kill on the Faceless Void. Crystallized thinks better of it. There's going to be a big fight mid. G won't be here because he TP top.
Now jump forward. Chrono is going to find 2. There is an Impale from the east side that's going to connect onto the Void, but they get off the global. All for naught. And they glimpse back the Nyx Assassin, trying to get him down. They will with the Sentry. 3-for-0. Will be a beautiful engagement. Crystallizes first real Chrono of the game. The one we saw bottom lane was purely defensive. And now Roger and Crystallize into the pit. Yeah, Meld Strike, Desolator. They should make fairly quick work of this while the Necro is off the board. And that is exactly what Na'Vi needed to come back into this game.
Alright, she's going to go for it, though. He's smoked up with Claire. Let's go.
Oh, he jumps forward for the Echo. He'll find himself a Disruptor. But now the TA chasing forward finds Slayer. Now jumping forward from Crystallize, gets the slow from the time dilation off, and the toss-up. G is a big value kill. Double kill for Dendi here. And again, it just seems like Na'Vi trickling in one by one. Nice Psionic Trap there. Force forward, trying to get the Reaper Scythe off, but he can't. Seems like he may have been fogged on Aloha Dance. Roger going to relocate back to the well. And it doesn't seem like Na'Vi are weary of that. So they should be able to come back out safely. In fact, Dendi's TA going to TP mid alongside the Disruptor. They do not have Static Storm here, but it's up in 4 seconds. Crystallize jumping forward. They will force out the Ghost Shot. Now General will attack the backline. He hits onto 2. Spike Carapace will keep Zayats up for now. Static Storm is decently placed. And the Reaper Scythe will not kill off Roger just yet. One right click, though, will do it. But they get the double kill for Dendi before the Death Pulse stacks can kick in. Now up to the high ground. Blinks the TA. Triple kill. G does not have an Echo Slam, but he'll jump forward and with an Enchant Totem will take out the Disruptor. Dendy's still fighting strong. Has a Refraction in 2 seconds. And the toss forward, he'll pop it up. Has a Blink Slayer in trouble. Ultra kill for Dendy. Has a Psionic Trap in just a second. And the Chrono is there. Dendy should have a Blink in a few. It's going to be 3 seconds until it's up.
Yeah,
and
go
will
for
they
the
jump
pentakill,
forward?
Dendy.
It's going to be into the duel. They have an Aegis still. Dendy doing a lot of damage here. Has a Refraction when he's up. We'll pop it. Psionic Trap down. Wisp nearby. Blinks out looking for G. Can he find him yet? They get the negative earn tick charge. There's no Blink Dagger for G. Couple of right clicks coming through. Psionic Trap going to continue to slow him. And Na'Vi playing rather disciplined here. With the Refraction charge, not really scared of that Spike Carapace just yet. A couple more right clicks. They need the detection, however, and Roger is not carrying any, as Wisps often starved for slots with all the regen they require.
Pretty good exchange for Vega there. I think they more than broke even, especially expending that Aegis on Dendy. So Vega, they keep themselves in a pretty good position this game, or at least not a worse position. I mean, in about a span of a minute, Na'Vi swung their net worth by about 5k, so Na'Vi doing fairly well going into the mid game. We'll see if G tries to make something happen with his double damage, however. That probably gives him solo kill potential on a couple of Na'Vi's heroes.
Dragon Lance is in the stash of Dendy as well, so maybe those slightly awkwardly placed Chronos in the future from Crystallize, he can still contribute if the blink is down. Be a nice pickup for him. Grab the Hurricane Pike eventually.
Yeah, I remember saying that the Necrophos was hard to deal with, but then I forgot that Na'Vi have like 2 of the biggest teamfight spells with Static Storm and
Global. Mid lane, they are going to go in with the duel. And we'll find the Crystallized Void.
Haste.
Camera work has been absolutely abysmal this game.
okay. Partially on me for making you look top, but we have top.
Necrophos in a little bit of trouble here. Gets the Ghost Shroud off. Psionic Trap is there, however, and the Ava Toss taking extra magic damage. Gets to press the attack off, but too little, too late. However, the big Echo Slam coming through from G, and he'll kill off the IO almost instantly. Curses there onto General. He tries to get the toss back. Dendy's in trouble as well. The full lineup of Vega going to respond, and in spades, they will find success. 4 heroes down for Na'Vi. They get a big kill in the Necrophos, but certainly not worth nearly their entire lineup.
Yeah, some great counter initiation from Vega there, and Necrophos like takes forever to die. So, top lane.
All right, Crystallize coming through. Has a Chrono. Is going to catch 2 with it. It will, at least it seems, get G out of this. Although it's going to be hard. He has the Eul Scepter and the Blink out. Oh no, he'll bring G back. Roger in, and will, with a few right clicks, we'll be able to kill him off. Because of the glimpse, they will allow the Nyx to TP out safely, but they get the higher value kill here. Afterlife beating in on mid lane. General TPing in is not able to initiate. And that'll be all she wrote for that little engagement. Queued up in Aloha Dance's stash is going to be that Radiance for the Necrophos.
We've seen a lot of Necrophoses go in Radiance, and it just makes them able to farm, able to push lanes, and able to scale into the late game. So, pretty cool item choice there, as opposed to something like a Blink for going for more pickoffs. But his team has no shortage of Blinks right now, so won't be needed at the moment.
Afterlife looking to build into a Halberd, so this Void and TA are going to have a rough time as far as evasion goes with the Radiance and the Halberd picked up shortly. Although you do expect Dendy to build into a BKB relatively soon. He's finished the Dragon Lance and it looks like he'll go BKB prior to completing up the full Hurricane Pike. So Halberd Disarm at least going to be a little less effective. Meanwhile, they are going to find the Spike Carapace onto Roger. Not sure if he had the spirits active, but either way they kill him off. And in mid lane, General could be in a little bit of trouble. He ends up getting a tower last. He's going to throw the Avalanche out and try and back. And Dove does have the TP in from his Disruptor to keep him safe for now. However, rotating through is G on the Earthshaker. As a Shadow Blade, Static Storm flies out mid lane. G going to try and jump through, but Dendy still with Refraction up. Not necessarily the most ideal target for an Echo, especially with only 2 units nearby. So decisive movement from the Na'Vi Disruptor will net them a kill, but maybe more importantly than the Nyx death is saving them from the initiation that was impending on Vega's side.
For sure, for sure. And Vega, you know, they're okay with that exchange. You got the infinite scaling on the Legion Commander and the Silencer, so pretty okay with that exchange. And Faceless Void, he picked up the Lincolns about a minute ago, which should protect him from Reaper Scythe and Duel, but it won't protect him from Earthshaker spells and Global. G looks like he's going for a kill here. I wonder if he had vision of any of these heroes.
They have the Cliff Ward at the stairwell, so he'll find Roger with ease, but they do have Crystallize nearby under the cover of invisibility. This should be a 2-man chrono, but he's gonna have to get Dendy in it if he does drop the chrono. Time dilation will come out. Now General will come through. They'll try to take out the Necrophos. Couple right clicks from Dendy will be enough. Crystallize still withholding that chrono at this point, but a lot of Vega heroes nearby. Dendy not necessarily in great fighting shape. Soneko in trouble, and he's going to be dueled up. No, jump forward. The chrono is going to find a couple. General on the backsides, trying to bring down the Silencer. Tosses him up into the chrono. Nice follow-up. Static Storm is there as well. And Na'Vi rolling over Vega in this fight. The last time walk from Crystallize finds them a double kill on their Faceless Void. General needs the toss, and he'll throw Dendy.
Even stand still for a little bit.
Rip.
But you know, that's some great counter initiation from Crystallize there with the Chronosphere, saving the Disruptor, catching 3 heroes. And I think they even ended up tossing the Silencer into the Chrono as well. So the Chronosphere, followed up by Static Storm, manages to net them 4 kills or 3 kills.
Yeah, especially with a new member of the roster like Crystallize, to see their communication there. Dendy saying, "Don't worry, I'm all right. I'm gonna meld. They have no detection. Hold the chrono for now. Waiting till they find an opportune moment. Then dropping the chrono, saving the Disruptor, allowing the Static Storm to come out." Really nicely played in that team fight. Dendy, though, on the low ground here, uses his blink now. Maybe an opening for Zayach. They do have the global silence as well. They're looking to initiate onto the Wisp first.
Nyx will walk into a sentry.
Roger going to be cursed up, but they won't continue to press forward. And Vega are aware that the wards are here, as they died last time trying to deward them, and maybe they will again. Slayer going to get 3-shotted by Dendy with the BKB. Spike Carapace does nothing for this Nyx Assassin. Double kill from Dendy. Snap decision to be able to take out those heroes who felt safe enough warding in a duo. But this Templar Assassin more than willing to eat those up for free. Now Afterlife in trouble, going for the duel in the face of 3 heroes. Thought he found a lowly Wisp. Instead, he finds 3 Na'Vi members, and that'll be 14 duel damage for, you know, a great animation on the Wisp.
And the Wisp can start transitioning into carry now. You got that plus 14 damage. You got overcharge for that bonus attack speed.
Exactly. Dendy getting big at this point with the full BKB up. Now General jumping forward, misses the avalanche, however, on Aloha, and it'll be just an intimidation blow for them to finish off that tier 2 in the mid lane. Meanwhile, trying to relocate in bottom with the Static Storm already popped out. G in trouble. Sentry goes down. It's a little late. Dust is there as well, however, and Nyx Assassin is going to catch the impale onto Roger. He's not going to be killed off just yet. Meanwhile, on the south side, Reaper Scythe goes out onto the Disruptor, does not kill him off, and Dendy is able to make it back to safety. So when all is said and done, they lose a Disruptor. Roger is able to make it out.
2 ultimates expended for Vega, but they're okay with that. They're just ceasing the bleeding at the moment. And Na'Vi, they're in a comfortable position here. They're up 9k net worth ahead, and they have the Iowa in their lineup, so it's a lot scarier for Vega now. I mean, for a long time we saw that Vega's pickup potential was higher, but now Na'Vi's heroes are starting to get tankier. Faceless Void has the Lincoln Sphere. He's got the Diffusal, BKB on Dendy, so Vega, they have to be careful of which fights they choose to take, and Roshan's going to be up in the next little bit, so Vega probably want to stop Na'Vi from acquiring the Aegis.
Yeah, they do have pretty decent vision around the pit. Vega does. A couple of sentries and a ward, so they should be aware. And if Na'Vi walks in visible, but they are under the cover of smoke. Peeping into the shrine now is G's Earthshaker. Does have a Shadow Blade, but see if they park Crystallize up on the high ground or equivalent to try and tank the gank, so to speak.
Coin for me.
Global Silence is still down, so it's going to be tough for Vega to fight this if they decide to, and it might be too late because Virtuan's going to go down in a couple of seconds. Vega have to be a little bit careful not to get caught here.
So Nako looking for a glimpse target, gets dust, and they'll find the silencer in the trees. Great game sense from General. Not sure if they caught a glimpse of that silencer, but they will get the glimpse back, speaking of which, on the Nyx Assassin. He's already used the Spike Carapace. Double kill for Dendi, who's got the Aegis in hand as well. And Cheese in the hands of the Crystallized Void. They still have the Chronosphere. That's 2 heroes down, only one of which has buyback. That'll be the Nyx Assassin. Back to the base, Roger will go. We'll look to just regen up.
Vegas still
General.
has potential to pick someone off here.
Jump forward, Chrono. Now General needs to go in on the backlines, but he can't. G's the first one to get it. They still do finish off the Necro quickly with Dendi having the BKB up. He got Halberd for the split second, but the Static Storm will keep G and Afterlife locked down, and they will drop. That's 5 heroes dead. 2 now gonna respawn, but it'll be at least 1 lane of racks here. There is a tier 2 in the bottom lane, but top lane exposed, and no buybacks available. Na'Vi should be well aware of that now at this point on these 3 cores. Jump forward, General. He's going to find one under the cover of Vendetta. That's going to be the Nyx Assassin, but Dendi with the overcharge continuing to beat into the structures. Objective gaming for Na'Vi in this deciding game 3. Roger makes the call to want it back, and they are going to finish the melee racks before doing so. Pop up the Buckler, and second lane down.
Zayash looking for a kill. He won't be able to get anything here. 2 of his cores are still down. So Na'Vi playing the last 10 minutes incredibly well. I mean, the game was almost even up until maybe about the 20-minute mark, and really just winning 2 pretty critical fights that got them into the game and then made them able to apply the amount of pressure that we're seeing them apply now. And Vega's cores, they really haven't been able to catch a break. I think they've been dying in all of these fights. Their item progression has been slowed. They're now 21k net worth behind, and
Yeah.
You know, with their items so behind, they really can't survive any of the combos from Na'Vi. The Chrono, with the TA, the Disruptor ult, and the tiny burst damage. So Na'Vi
Arcane
sitting
Rune
in a
up for
very
General. Gonna jump forward. Drops the combo onto Afterlife, but a little bit tentative as he drops the scan in the meantime, and we'll be able to back out Afterlife looking for the duel, but General with the Arcane Rune gets the second Shadow Blade down. They're ready. They're bringing in reinforcements now, and yeah, since this BKB pickup from Dendi, Vega just have not had an answer for this TA. He has the Diffusal Blade in backpack as well for when the Aegis expires. General pops up the Shadow Blade. Do they see the Necrophos? Doesn't seem like it just yet. They get down the Static Storm there. Now Dendi jumps through. The Global is there, but he's just going to BKB it off. And Vega, or Slayer, in trouble as well. So Nako continuing to chase forward. Psionic Trap will scout him briefly, slow him up. Dendi blinks forward, finds himself a double kill. Already cutting the wave is Afterlife on the Legion Commander. Meanwhile, to the north, G does find a kill. That is going to be on the Wisp. General, though, jumps forward and tosses up the Nyx Assassin. One big swipe of his Rock Palm will kill him off. Afterlife into the tree. Nako looking for him. Kinetic Field won't be there, but the Glimpse will. Into the Avalanche. Afterlife may take a little while to bring down here. They're actually going to bring in Dendi as well. But he should be more than dead. Make sure to cancel the blink, guys. Hurricane Pike is there. And even with the Halberd, Dendi will burn through that LC. So Aegis to expire here in 1 minute. But Na'Vi have taken a very strong foothold in this one. They've pole vaulted up to in excess of a 20k net worth lead, and about the same in the way of experience.
Yeah, it feels like Vega's lineup only operates well when they are the first ones getting the jump. So they jump the Void, they make sure you can't Chrono. They jump the Wisp to make sure the Wisp can't relocate, save anyone. And it seems so far like Na'Vi's just been making the first move in the last like 5 team fights. So they're coming up strong, starting to hit the last set of racks, last 2-3.
Fisher flies out. We'll connect onto Dendy and Crystallize. Crystallize has, in addition to his Lincoln's Fury, BKB. So just hitting these buildings with reckless abandon. Jump forward. He finds a two-man chrono. Dendy's there with him, and it'll bring down the Necrophos. Static Storm to overlap on top, and the GG well played is called as Na'Vi, with a couple of fights into the mid game, just spiral out of control on this Dendy TA, and they will take the victory away from Vega as Na'Vi comes through round 1. Vega directly invited into round 2, and Na'Vi upset them here. They will move on to face Virtus Pro tomorrow. That should be very hype. Till then, what do you think of this Na'Vi squad? Do they have anything for VP, Franz?
I mean, they're looking much stronger than they have in the last couple of months. So I'm sure they can only get better from here with this new lineup, and we'll see how they pit up against VP. VP, of course, always a strong CIS team. So we'll see how that matchup goes.
Yeah, definitely a top tier opponent there. But for now, Na'Vi fanboys, you can rejoice, and we can call them back. We've got a lot more Dota coming your way today. I was up 7:30 a.m. It's now 4 p.m. But we're still going. We got a couple of NA series on the way, and they are some good ones. So me and Franz will be back in home court for the next couple of series. It's going to be Complexity versus the Dire, PPD, Pycat's new squad, and then following that will be DC North America versus, I think, Pika Blue, but I'll confirm that. Anyways, Complexity, Dire coming up next. Na'Vi, for now, the victors, 2-1 MRP and Franz here. ESL One Hamburg qualifiers. We'll be back shortly with the next matchup.